Today we have Kevin Thompson. He is the head greenskeeper at Moray Golf Club. This is Jeff's home course in Scotland where he's been a member. And we can't wait to get the perspective of a greenskeeper for a links course at a top 100 Scotland course. So enjoy.
So today we're really happy to have Kevin Thompson from Moray Golf Club in Lossiemouth, Scotland to be with us. Welcome to the Travel Royally podcast, Kevin.
Thanks, Jeff. It's great to be here.
Hey, let's start at the beginning. Did you grow up in Lossiemouth, or where in Scotland did you grow up?
Yes, I was born in Lossiemouth, and I grew up in Lossiemouth, and I lived in Lossiemouth until about 18 months ago. And
now you moved. Yeah, you moved to Elgin, right?
I did. I moved to Elgin about 18 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
So it's not too far. It's only 6 miles away.
So how did you get into golf?
Well, my dad was a professional at Moray before John Murray was. So I don't know if you knew that. So we've kind of always been playing, really. So kind of earliest memories was just, going out and playing with my dad, caddying for my dad, and watching Moray Opens and stuff. But it's just a golfing family.
Was his name Alistair?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Wow. Hayden, he's a pretty famous guy around Lossiemouth.
Shoot.
He was the pro for like 30 years there, wasn't he?
He was 38 years or something, Jeff, I think. He was the longest serving pro Moray Golf Club's ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he still around, isn't he?
Yep, he is indeed. Yep. Just turned 80 end of last year, so he's still doing well.
Still playing.
Does he still play?
Yeah, he can beat his age comfortably now.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a bit of a fair weather golfer, so he don't see him much in the winter.
Yeah. So you've been a member of Moray your whole life?
I have, Jeff. I believe my dad joined me when I was 4, so I've been a member for 48 years.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you grew up watching the Moray Open, and Hayden and I are excited to be there and play. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, the scene behind me is of the 18th green over my shoulder. And it's just a fantastic amphitheater that's created for the Moray Open. And Kevin, I know you'll attest to this. There's nothing like being out there on a Friday afternoon watching or playing, in your case, in the final groups coming in up that fairway.
Yeah, it's a pretty special week. It's we use both courses, as you know, Jeff, and so we start with 336 players at the start of the week, and obviously whittle down to the finals on the Friday. But it's a good week it's a great week to play good, but it's also a good week for, if your golf's not quite so good, you can enjoy it in so many other ways.
Sure.
Yeah, Hayden, I think I've told you this, but the tournament, for those of us who aren't in the handicap or the scratch handicap section, it's more like a member guest over here. Lots of drinking and socializing, and it's funny, Kevin. A couple of years ago in the Calcutta, I had Robbie Shields, right, and and after he made it into the semifinals. I think this is probably 5-6 years ago, and I said, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And he said, "Not till tomorrow night." He was taking it very seriously.
Yeah. Wow.
So how many Moray Opens have you played in?
I think the first one I played when I was 14. Now, so that would be, I'm now 52. So I think we missed one with COVID. So I think that's around about 36. It'll be 37 this year.
Wow.
So I played in
Fantastic.
How have you done? How high have you finished?
I've 4 times managed to get to the final, Hayden, but that's the best I've done. I've lost all 4 of them, unfortunately, including 2 of them to my brother. So
how does the tournament work? Can you explain how the tournament works?
Yeah, so we have the 2 courses at Moray. We have the old course and the new course. So you play Monday, Tuesday's qualifying. So half the field play, and flip over on the Tuesday. And then out of that, we have a 32 scratch qualifiers and 64 handicap qualifiers, which are then split into 2 handicap sections, a high and a low section. So you have the 96 qualify out of 336. And then you play 1 round of match play on the Wednesday, second round quarterfinals on the Thursday, semi-finals and finals on the Friday. But for the 200 and whatever that don't qualify, we have consolation competitions on the new course. All the match plays on the old course. Then we have consolation competitions on the new course as well. So you're kind of guaranteed if most folk are here on the Saturday, they can play the Saturday and the Sunday's practice. Then they get at least 4 games during the week. And if anybody really wanted another game on the Friday on the new course, then the club would be okay with that. So you kind of get a week's golf, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good.
For 125 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's crazy.
And what do we play? I don't even know what members pay. Is it 50 pounds?
I think it's either 50 or 40, Jeff. It's just went up a bit last year, but
yeah, you know what we like to do, Kevin? We like to, and what we'll be doing this year, we'll play in the Tri-Am on that Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday
it's a quad.
Pardon me? Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so it's 4 players now instead of 3. So
we may need your help. We may need your help because I think I don't want all of us playing together. I'd like the guys to play with some locals to get some course knowledge and to make some, build some relationships and that kind of thing. But on Sunday, we'll typically go, someplace else and play. So I think this year on Sunday, we're going to go to Fort Rose and Rosemarkie.
Okay.
And then on Friday, since I don't anticipate any of us getting through to the finals, we'll go to, I think this year we're going to go to Cullen.
All right. Okay.
And then come back so that we can watch watch the final groups come in or go out and walk with them the last couple of holes.
Yeah, super. That's great. Well, let's do that. Let's keep in touch and we can arrange something. And I'll get some guys to mix up and play with you on the Saturday. That'd be good fun.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
That must be a busy week for you because I'm assuming you've got work to do as well.
Yeah, it is. But the busy week's really the week before. It's the prep week. It's the busy week. It's the toughest week of the year. I mean, in normal circumstances, I don't have enough staff to prepare 2 golf courses in a week.
Right.
But that week we just have to do it. So we just have a rule that we don't go home on the Friday till we're ready, and it's amazing. We seem to manage it every year, but obviously some years are better. Then it's just a case of keeping things ticking over. The downside is we always have to work on the Sunday night to prep the course. So you miss the end of the Open Championship every year. So I haven't seen the end of the Open since Paul Lawrie won it. Although the time that Tom Watson almost won a few years back, we kind of refused to go to work for it. So Tom Watson was going to win the Open, but yeah, it's good. But it's a tough week, the week before it.
Yeah, and Paul Lawrie is a hero over there, Hayden. I mean, he's the last Scot to have won the Open Championship, and prior to that, it was probably Sandy Lyle, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's your best score around the Old?
My best score on the Old would be 67. Was 4 under par. I've done that a few times.
Yeah. Wow.
Great.
What's your brother's best score?
66, I believe.
Yeah.
It's always slightly better than me.
You still got time. Is he playing as well?
Yeah, he hasn't played a lot of golf in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe a bit longer than that. But he's kind of got the bug again last year, so I think he's planning to play a bit more this year. So I think he would play Moray Open. He's done quite well in the Moray Open over the years.
Yeah,
I think he'd a run of one time. I think he got to 9 finals out of 11 years, that's pretty special because it's tough.
yeah. Well, I think today the hard part when I watch it is, you've got, I mean, for a while there, you've got these young kids that are 20 years old that are just bombing the daylights out of it. I watched the final a couple of years ago with Kyle Godsman and Jeff. Is his last name Brown?
Right, Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright.
Yeah.
And I walked the last couple of holes with them, and their golf was just superb.
Yeah. Well, both of that guys have turned pro now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can't play.
Wow.
They had a bit of bad luck in respect. They turned pro at the end of the 2019 season. So before they kind of got going, it was pandemic. So they've kind of been a wee bit in limbo. Kyle's just playing about in Scotland, but Jeff's been playing out and about in Europe.
Yeah.
So
they're both fine players, aren't they?
They are. They're good players, and they're both good guys as well. So
yeah,
everybody's kind of hoping that they can do something. It'd be great to see somebody local, doing well.
Yeah. Hayden, you got Kevin, I know you. I could dominate the conversation, but I'd like Hayden to ask some questions too.
I chime in when necessary. I think that I'm excited to play, and my first trip is this July, and we're going to play the Moray Open, and stay in Lossiemouth. So for a first timer, what can you what kind of advice can you give me for the course?
Well, I think the old course is fairly straightforward. It's very fair. There is a lot of gorse, but there's a lot of space as well. There's nothing much hidden with it. The biggest secret to get around Moray is to keep the ball in play. Like so many courses, but the new course though is tough. It's shorter, but it's tighter, and if the wind blows, it's not easy to come back with the same ball you started with.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, it's especially the new course. It's not so much about bombing it, and it's getting it in play, and you'll be fine. That's
awesome.
Easier than done.
How does the handicaps work with the tournament? So if you're scratch or below, you're in a section, and then Jeff, you said we would be. How does that work?
Yeah, they basically just take the scores. So your top 32 scratch scores, come out and go into the scratch section. Then I think they take the best 64 net scores, and then they make the sections. I believe that's the way they definitely did it prior to us joining the World Handicap system. I'm not quite sure how it's done now.
Kind of all depends on the qualifier days.
Yeah. I don't know if a lot of them can set the sections before a ball struck. They'll say that the sections are, maybe 9 handicap and below and 10 and above, for example. I'm not quite sure how that works now. I know it was difficult with you having to adjust handicaps and stuff like that, and then do draws at night. It was tough going. So I'm not exactly sure how it works now.
Sweet.
It's still basically the best 64 net scores qualify though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Kevin, how long have you been the head greenskeeper there?
I've been the head greenkeeper for 8 years, but I've worked there for 35.
Whew. Paid your dues, didn't you?
Yeah. It's kind of due it, I think.
Now, you guys are really busy, and it's fun to follow you guys and the work that you've done with this past winter, gorse removal, rebuilding bunkers, and give me an update. What have you guys been up to this winter, and what changes can we expect at the Moray Open from the course?
Biggest thing has been the bunkers. So we've completely rebuilt. I think it was 19 bunkers, 20 bunkers, something like that. Now, some of them are very basic rebuilds, which will maybe take a day or two. Some of them are more intensive and could take up to a week to do. So the biggest change we did was on the par 3 on number 15.
Yep.
Where on the right-hand side, there used to be 2 bunkers. There's now 3 bunkers there. So that was the biggest change we've done on the old course there. The rest of them have just been a bit of reshaping, but the bunkers are still in the same place. They're just slightly different shapes.
Yeah.
So that's, so as I say, I think it was 19 bunkers we did in total. We've rebuilt 2 tees, both on the new course. And other than that, it's just been like general work. We've done a bit of gorse removal. That's still ongoing. And it's just been a lot of general tidying up. But believe it or not, we're still kind of chasing our tail a bit from the pandemic, where, you know, we've had to use furlough and that quite a lot. And we've been short staffed for basically 2 years now. So we're just kind of coming out of that and getting back on track, same as everybody else. As far as the winter work,
is Ryan still with you?
Ryan is indeed, yes,
yeah.
Yes. So
excellent.
Ryan's doing well. He's part of the full-time staff now, so he's
good.
Doing good.
Evan, when you get some off time and you're not playing at Murray, where do you go?
I don't play. I mean, I used to play a lot of golf out and about. I don't do that anymore. It's more social than competitive now.
Yeah.
But other than that, not too much. Really hang out with my mates. I like music. I used to go to quite a lot of concerts, but obviously that's not been happening either. So,
well, you guys you've got when you were younger and playing competitively, and even when you were, there's so much great golf up where you are. I mean,
yeah,
the choices are endless, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
A couple of years ago, Chris Fear and I went over to Nairn Dunbar, and that was just a really fun course. I mean,
yeah.
I know Nairn, the proper Nairn course, or the more famous one, has a better reputation. But Nairn Dunbar, the people were very friendly. The course was nice. It was fun. And I think because of our Rover ticket, I think I paid 10 quid or 20 quid or something. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. They've made a lot of changes, Dunbar, over the last while there. Try to get it more, removed a lot of trees and try to get it more into kind of links characteristics, and made a great job of it.
Yeah.
It's been doing well.
Yeah. Now, do I understand that you studied like at Elmwood College down in Fife?
Yeah, we did, Jeff. Yeah.
And that was for agronomy or greenskeeping?
No, it was greenskeeping. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get to play a lot down there?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
We did took clubs down a couple of times, played a few of the local courses, but no, not a lot. Believe it or not, for so many golf courses there. It was good.
Do you like playing? Do you like the old course at St. Andrews?
I've never played it.
Okay, Hayden, I want you to hear that. Do you know how many people I've met who live there and have never played there?
Yeah.
You've never played any of the courses there?
I've played the new course. That's all.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, I've walked around the old course and stuff, but I've never played it.
Wow. Hey, we could get you on.
I'm sure you could. I could probably get myself on as well, but it's not so easy to play. It's they use this ballot system, and it's very difficult.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, it's a special place, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best course down there. I mean, in terms of the 7 courses they have, it's very subtle. You got to know where to hit the ball, and the greens are undulating, and I guess 10 of them or more than that are double greens. It's just an amazing place to play.
Yeah, it is. It is. Even just walking around it, you get a feel for it, don't you? You know, just walking across Broken Bridge and stuff like that. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
We'll have a day in St. Andrews. Are we gonna be able to walk the course or visit?
Well, it'll be during the Open, so I'm going to try and get tickets are sold out, but I've got a friend who might be able to get us some tickets.
Okay.
Or I'd like for you and you know, for you've never been, but for you to be able to go out and walk on the course and watch it, it'd be great for you to be able to do that. I was down there for the 2015 Open, Kevin, when Zach Johnson won.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Nick Faldo's last round, you know, in the Open. And I was sitting in the stands along the first fairway. It was amazing. And, you know, his referee that day was Neil McConaughey.
Well, oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Right, okay.
Wow.
So Neil helped me get the tickets, and then we hung out afterwards, and I was videoing it because because I don't know if you remember, but Nick Faldo put on his sweater from the last time, like 20 years before when he'd won the Open. So he's got the sweater on, and so I'm videoing him walking off. He's shaking hands with Neil. And at that very moment, I pan over, and Trevor Robson, you know, the guy with the high-pitched voice that used to announce the players, he goes, and now on the first tee, Tiger Woods. And then you see Tiger Woods tee off. It was like,
yeah,
it was very cool.
It's awesome.
Super. That's
so
good,
I want to go back to the greenskeeping thing real quick, because I'm fascinated with it. You know, Hayden, one of the things that Kevin does when we get it, we get a captain's newsletter, and occasionally, maybe 3 times a year, 4 times a year, you give us an update, Kevin, of everything that you're doing, down to how much nitrogen you spread or how much fertilizer, or, you know, so, you know, I really appreciate that, because it shows the attention to detail and how much you care about it. But what's the hardest part about being a greenskeeper, period? Not just at Murray, but at any links course.
I would say certainly on the links courses, unpredictable weather. It's probably the hardest bit.
Yeah,
that's been tough for us. The last 4 or 5 years has been really tough for the weather. But on more general thing, unrealistic expectations from members, that's never good. That's the two big things that are tough.
Well, let me ask this: if you had an irrigation system, wouldn't that solve 90% of the problem, or a reliable irrigation system?
Probably more than 90%. But there is some good news on that, because we actually upgraded a bit this winter. So we've done, back in October, we managed to get a company to come in at short notice and do 7 fairways and 4 approaches and a couple of walk-offs and bits and bobs. We also sunk another borehole for water and managed to find quite a substantial amount of water. So that's all been done. Now, that was reasonably expensive in, say, dollars, probably about 130,000.
Wow.
And we have got the irrigation company booked back in for this October to come and do the rest of the old course and some on the new course. But this is what we're calling phase 2, and that's going to be about 3 times the amount of that. So it's a fairly big cash project for the club. But it's something, you know, we've got to do to protect our courses going forwards, and not to kind of suffer the kind of catastrophic loss of coverage we've had, you know, especially in 2018.
Yeah.
That warm, dry summer, which we're still playing catch up for. So, but thankfully going forwards, things should be better. And then looking slightly beyond that, we can start to kind of properly fulfill our potential would be the goal going forward in the few years.
I guess thank God for the pipeline going through, right?
Well, yes and no. Thank God for the money we're getting for it. But it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment, and it's behind schedule as well. So
I heard that. Hayden, they're putting a pipeline from the Royal Air Force Base through the course.
Yeah, you mentioned
and they paid a lot of money, and then the club turned around and is using that to, rightfully so, to irrigate the course, which is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good. Once we're finished, it'll be good. You know.
Yeah.
Is that money up front?
No, unfortunately not.
Wow.
We've got some of it so far. We were actually okay. The phase 1 irrigation project we did back in October, we managed to have enough funds to do that ourselves. So,
oh, that's good.
With the more that's coming on, although it's a bit of a pain that it's been delayed, the completion of that project, there is obviously penalty clauses in it that's going to get us even more money. So that can go towards some, as I say, the irrigation's one, and hopefully secure a better pro shop for John Murray as well.
Well, I was just going to bring that up. Hey, the pro shop there is about the size of your closet, and he desperately needs a bigger shop. I mean, and you know what I think, and it's probably the same people, Kevin, who complain about the condition of the course don't want a bigger pro shop, right? But it's better for the members to have more merchandise and more space for him, and for people like us that come over, we spend a fair amount of money in there on my Moray golf club sweater and hats and golf balls and, you know, last minute wedges or whatever we need. We end up spending, I bet everyone that comes over there this summer from our group will spend at least 200 pounds in the shop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just needs more space. You can't fit more than 4 people in there at a time.
Well, that's the problem. It's when it's busy, and weeks like Moray Open Week really highlight the problem, don't they? Where, you know, there's not enough room to like serve 2 folk at a time and stuff like that. So it's been a problem for years. It's something that, as I say, we're working towards it now, and fingers crossed we're going to be able to do something.
As long as that project gets delayed a little longer, we can have some more money. As long as it's done before the tournament, right?
Well, the pro shot won't be done before the tournament, that's for sure.
That's true.
Never mind. We'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how does your job, or how do you see your job being different from, say, the Greenskeeper at Elgin, that's a Parkland course, or from Greenskeepers in the US? How do you see your job as being different?
The Parkland against the links is different. It's obviously different soils, which, you know, that results in different growth. We're kind of struggling to keep grass alive. There's not much cutting in the summer. For these kind of Parkland courses, there would be a lot of cutting, and then it would be the opposite. You know, for when it gets wet, they would have the opposite problem to us, where we're sometimes looking for a bit of moisture, and then they can get a bit wet, and that gets its own problems. So that would be the biggest difference with them, with the Parkland to the links. Start factoring in the wheat fees and all these kind of things that we don't have to deal with, and it's a different kind of greenkeeping altogether.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The States would be totally different as well, depending on where you're at. Different grasses, and then you would be, you know, some of them go dormant and you're overseeding with a different species for different times of the year, different temperatures, different humidities. There's different bugs, different diseases. It's
right.
Different altogether.
Things that most of us don't think about, you think about.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think in the States, especially, if you, again, depending on where you were, it would be for somebody like me, it would be a real eye opener.
Yeah,
some of the things you got to deal with. You can see it on, you know, chat groups on Facebook and things like that. That you're like, oh, what's that? And again, it depends on the clubs over there. You know, if it's a country club compared to just a, you know, municipal.
Yeah. Well, we've got it at the course that Hayden and I play at. You may not believe this. We have big industrial fans permanently placed along greens to dry them out because, when they get wet and then the sun comes out, it bakes them. And so it causes tremendous problems with the greens. And it can go from completely shaded to completely, shaded by the trees and then very sunny, and keeping the greens alive is very tough here in Georgia. But let me, I never thought about it. What type of grass do you guys have at Murray and on links courses? Is there
you're generally trying to promote fescue or bent, generally fescue.
Is that what we have at Murray? Fescue?
Well, there's a bit of everything. There's a bit of POA as well, but it's the greens are basically POA, fescue, with a little bit of bent. So that's what you're really trying to promote, is as much fescue as possible. Then there's bits of ryegrass in your kind of walk-off areas and harder high traffic areas and stuff. But
yeah,
it's mainly fescue.
Yeah, over here at our club, they call it overseeding with rye in the winter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of that.
So the grass, it stays green in the winter. Here in Georgia, we go dormant. The grass goes dormant. We've got zoysia, which is in the fall, it can be, the rough can be very tough. It gets very thick and heavy. And then in the fall, it gets very thin and your ball sinks down to the turf or to the earth. And that causes its own problems. But
yeah.
So do you think being a greenskeeper makes you a better golfer or helps you play better golf?
No, don't think so. I think it gives you the opportunity to play a lot of golf, because it's great hours. We're generally starting 6 a.m. and you're kind of finished just after 2, so there's plenty of time to play golf. But some days the last thing you want to do is go and swing a golf club if you've had a bad day.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. I don't think it makes you a better golfer, but I think it gives you the opportunity to play a lot of golf. Definitely.
Well, every square inch of those 2 courses.
Yeah. Some bits I wish I didn't know, but
some areas a little too much.
Well, there's a couple of bits I've been looking for my ball that I've never been there at my work. So
yeah.
Donating balls to the members.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I know you're a big music fan. Who's your favorite band?
Well, that's a tough one. Get so many I like. My favorite band is probably a band from Finland called Nightwish. They would probably be my favorite band, but it comes and goes. They're really good. Really like them. I like a lot of music. Yeah. But
what about who's your favorite Scottish band?
Scottish band? We've got a singer called Amy McDonald from just outside Glasgow. Amy McDonald's real good. Really like her. Seen her 3 or 4 times, and going to see her again in a couple of weeks down in Glasgow. So she's good. She's played. She's done things like the kind of Ryder Cup at Glen Eagles. She did the opening ceremony for that.
Oh, cool.
So she's real good.
Who's your favorite American band? Do you have one?
I wouldn't say I've got a favorite, but I've got a lot I like. I like a lot of the old kind of classic rock American bands, Aerosmith and Leonard Skinner and Guns N' Roses and things like that. But I also like, in the right mood, Sheryl Crow's really good.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
We
about 6 months ago, the Stones were here.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that on your Facebook page.
Unbelievable. The shape that Mick Jagger's in is unbelievable. But the cool thing was they had an Atlanta-based band open up for him, Zach Brown, which is a country band. And they're one of my favorite live performing acts.
Yeah, they're really famous.
Yeah, they were they're one of my favorites, but the Stones are they were unreal. I mean,
they've had some life, haven't they?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've got tickets for a Scottish guy that's going to be over here in August.
Right. Okay.
My girlfriend's favorite artist is Rod Stewart.
All right. Okay. I don't think he's quite in the same shape as Mick Jagger.
No.
Doesn't look
No,
like
but I'll
it.
tell you what's interesting. We've seen him twice now. I've taken her to Vegas to see him, and he was here in Atlanta 6 or 7 years ago. Towards the end of the show, he's autographed soccer balls and he kicks them out into the crowd. And he 5 or 6 years ago, he was probably 70.
Mm-hmm.
He was kicking him like a 20-year-old.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
They just seem to go on forever, these guys. I guess they don't know any different. It's so, I mean, the Stones must have been doing that for 60 years.
Yeah, close to, yeah, you're right. It's close to 60 years. You're right. You're absolutely right, Kevin. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it really is.
Do you think they just said one day, hey, we've run out of money. Let's go on tour again? Must be nice. Hey, you want some more money? Let's go on tour real quick.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hayden, think about this, Kevin. And Hayden's not as familiar with this band, but could you imagine if the two guys remaining from Led Zeppelin got back together, how much money they could make on a worldwide tour?
Yeah, it'd be colossal.
I mean, the whole world would be happy.
I mean, I a lot of these kind of older bands, it's great that, I mean, I've never seen the Stones, but one of my best friends saw them in Edinburgh a few years ago, and she told me they were amazing. But I've seen a lot of kind of older bands, and it's more of a nostalgia thing. And you're thinking, wow, they were still good, but I wish I'd seen them in their prime. But I think we're kind of like Led Zeppelin. I've obviously never seen them. I have seen Robert Plant twice as a solo artist, and he can still sing, and he must be 71, 72. He's incredible for that age. You just wonder what would that have been like in the 70s, you know?
I can't even imagine. I mean, and the thing is, you don't appreciate. I was a fan back then, but I didn't appreciate him.
Yeah,
because you think, it'd be. What's your most memorable concert?
I think probably Nightwish in London, because, funnily enough, just as what we're speaking about now, they're fairly modern as the bands I would like, so they would be in their prime. And I've seen them a couple of times in Glasgow, but that was like fairly small venues, maybe 3,000 folk.
Yeah.
London was at Wembley Arena, which holds about 15 or 16,000. So that allowed them to take over their full European production, which I never thought I'd see in the UK, because they're not a big band in the UK compared to mainland Europe. So to see that in London, that was the only UK date they did back then. To see the full production, that was something I thought I'd never see. That was amazing. So that's probably the most memorable one.
So do you go down to what's the place in Glasgow? The Wawa Hut?
King Tut's Wawa Hut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been there once. That only holds 200 folk.
Oh, I thought it was bigger than that. Okay.
No. It's just a really small, it's like a bar with a stage. Holds like 200 folk. It's brilliant.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, we're kind of winding down, but I want to ask, if you could fill out a dream foursome with anybody dead or alive, who would you have in your foursome?
That's a tough one as well. If it was purely golf, it'd have to be Tiger. It would have to be Seve. And I don't know, Ben Hogan maybe. I would have loved to have seen how good Ben Hogan was.
Yeah.
I don't know. If Nelly Corda turned up, I wouldn't be disappointed. So,
Well, how would you like to see Bryson DeChambeau on Moray?
Yeah, love to see him in the new course on a windy day. He wouldn't break it.
man.
He wouldn't break 80.
Were you there when Bob Charles played?
Yeah, he played with me. Yep, he played.
You
with
played
my
with
dad.
him. How was that?
No, he played with my dad,
Ah,
and he also played with Kyle Godsman.
wow.
I think, yeah, he was still good. I don't know how old Bob Charles would have been when he played, early 70s. I think he still got around in 68, 69, something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been incredible.
Yeah, yeah. It's been just, yeah. There's been a few. There's not been a lot of famous, pros played it. There has been a few over the years. David Frost, the South African guy,
right?
Remember? Frost. David Frost played when he was ranked about 4 or 5 in the world, and he shot 66 on the old course, but he lost the ball on number 10 and took a 6, which is only 310 yards or something,
Yeah.
66 with the lost ball there, which was quite impressive.
Yeah. You would think he could drive that green.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah.
Wow. So Bob Charles, I know Paul Lowry's. Did he walk the course with his son that was playing there? Did I hear that or not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Paul Lowry is walked with his son, but I think both his sons are pros now as well. Yeah, they're both turning pro. But he's played it up quite a lot, Paul Lowry.
Oh yeah, I know he really likes that 7th hole at Hopeman.
Yeah, it's a 12th at Hopeman now. It used to be the 12th now, but Paul Lowry, where the caravan park is, beyond the new course there. I think Paul Lowry used to come up on holiday there with his parents when he was young.
Yeah,
and they used to golf at Hopeman. I can remember him coming over and playing in junior medals, junior opens when we were kids.
Wow.
He always had.
Are you guys about the same age?
Yeah, he'd be about a year older than me, maybe.
How good was he back then?
His handicap was low, but he never won any of our junior opens. He's obviously done pretty well for himself since.
Well, he's one of my favorite European pros. He's articulate, he's witty, he's honest, he's a great presenter when he's on TV. Yeah,
he does a lot for golf in the area as well, especially down the Aberdeen area. He owns a driving range and a short par 3 course and stuff there. He's got a golf foundation that he does a lot of work with the juniors as well. So
now, what's your favorite course in Scotland?
Oh, my favorite one that I've played would be Carnoustie.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty special. Up locally, Royal Aberdeen, Royal Dornoch are both really, really good.
Yeah, you like Castle Stewart?
Yeah. I've never played any competitive golf at Castle Stewart. That's why I like Dornoch and Royal Aberdeen so much, because they're so challenging for proper competitive golf. But Castle Stewart is fantastic for a 4-ball.
Yeah.
What about as hard as people say?
Sorry, what's that?
Carnoustie, everybody says that's one of the toughest courses they've played.
Yes, it wasn't. I only played it once, and it was flat calm, believe it or not. So it was a really good day. So it wasn't. It's just, but yeah, it's tough. It's a tough finish.
What did you hit on 16?
At Carnoustie.
Yeah.
Test your memory here.
Can't remember.
Well, hey, let me put it to you this way. I hit 3-wood there. He probably hits 3-iron or something.
Par 3.
Yeah, it's crazy long, and it's shaped like a turtle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, trying to get a ball to land on that is, I don't think, you can't appreciate it from TV, can you, Kevin?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's a funny one, Carnoustie, because I think that Open at Paul Lowry won there, he never quite got the credit he deserved because, because Van de Velde, made such a mess of it, and because he was so far behind, because the course was so tough.
Yeah,
but that was one of the real great scores and majors in recent times. What Lowry did that day, if it had been one of the top players that had shot that score in that conditions would still be talking about it now, you know.
Yeah.
It really was.
Well, that was, I was talking to some, I haven't even told Hayden this. I was talking to a client who's going over to Scotland next May. And it's a couples golf troop. There are 4 couples, and some of the women are quite good. And we've got 9 rounds of golf set up for them. They're actually going to Ireland and Scotland. Mm-hmm. And the women are going to take off 2 days. They're not going to play 2 of the 9 days. So they're only going to play 7 rounds. And the guy said, well, what courses should they plan on not playing? And I said, well, in Scotland, the one that I would recommend they not play is Carnoustie. I said, it's a beast of a course. If the wind's up, it's not a very pleasant place to be. The town is nothing. There's nothing to see or do there. You know, take the day off, let them stay in St. Andrews and shop and see stuff, or we can arrange a tour or something. And then in Ireland, I recommended not playing Tralee. But anyway, it's a bear of a course in the wind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but as at the time I played Carnoustie, it was light wind. It was, you know, it was as good a day as you'll get.
Yeah.
I remember I shot 74, so I'm not sure what that is to par, 3 over or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was. But I also remember looking at the yardage we played, and it was 1,000 yards short of what they played the Open on it. So it's tough. So that 67 that Laurie shot that day was a special golf score.
Now, have you ever been to the States, Kevin?
No, I haven't, Jeff. No.
What are you waiting on?
I know, it's funny because my brother actually studied in the States for a while. He went to college in the States, but unfortunately only did 2 years, and he had to come home. My mother was quite ill, and he came home. So I never got the chance then. And my sister actually moved over to Houston about, again, that must have been maybe 10 years ago now, because my brother-in-law he worked in the oil industry, and they'd planned to stay for a while, and we were going to go out then. But again, they came home after a year as well. It didn't work out. So that's only 2 times. So I haven't been yet. One day, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I think that there's nothing keeping you from coming. You got a free place to stay over here, and
yeah,
we can get you on some golf courses, and
I'm sure.
So what's on your golf bucket list? Is there any course you're dying to play?
I think we're going back to the States thing. I think that if I never went to Pebble Beach, or never tried to play at Pebble Beach, I'd be disappointed. That would be my favourite one. You know?
Yeah.
You ask anybody here, and everybody says Augusta, but you can't pitch up and pay a green fee at Augusta, but you can at Pebble Beach. You know,
yeah.
Even though it's expensive.
It's a little dear, isn't it?
It is, but it's, you know what? It's one of those things, isn't it? You know, you get a certain stage in life, and money's not important. And hopefully one day we can do that. Just go there and say, play it, you know?
Yeah, I took my dad there after my mom passed away. This is 30 years ago or more. And it was $135. I think it's $750 now.
Yeah,
but if you're going to play it once,
yeah,
you know, and it's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just crazy how beautiful Pebble Beach is.
Yeah.
But now I understand you're a Liverpool fan.
Yes, indeed.
So Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah are your 2 guys?
Yeah, we've got more than 2 though. We've got a few good guys at the moment. We're a good team at the moment. Yeah.
I watched the game on Sunday. It was great to see Kelleher play so well in goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a brave decision to play him, but he did the right thing. He's played all the other rounds, so it worked out well, yeah. It's a bit of a crazy finish.
I mean, Was he man of the match? I mean, he had a bunch of saves and he had a PK.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know who got man of the match, Jeff, but he couldn't have been far away from it. Yeah, yeah, it was good.
You think they're gonna overtake Man City?
My heart says yes, my head says no. I don't think they will.
Yeah,
but you never know. When they're a good side, and City are really good. But City have got this really big squad of 20 players that are good. But Liverpool are catching them in that respect now. So they've basically got 2 really good players for every position now, so they can make a lot of changes and compete in all fronts. What they're managing to do this season, so it's exciting times.
Yeah, my other daughter and her husband, the one that had the baby, they're big Liverpool fans, and before they got married, they backpacked around Europe for 3 months, and the first stop on the trip, or the primary stop on the trip, I got them tickets to a game at Anfield, which was, and they got a tour of the place. They were in tears.
Really?
When they started singing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah, yeah.
So I went up to their house to watch the game on Sunday. They both have their Liverpool kits on and scarves, and the baby's dressed in red, and they made me wear red, and
it's amazing how big the club is worldwide. Because when they won the league back two seasons ago, that's the first time they'd won the league in 30 years, and they did a documentary on it, which was on, I think it might even be on Netflix or something. And they basically filmed the whole season with fans in Brazil and in the Middle East and everywhere. And it was something like 400 million fans worldwide.
Yeah,
massive.
It was. I'll tell you what. One of the most memorable goals I've ever seen was when Allison headed that goal in last season. Right?
Yeah.
How that was.
I know, it's crazy.
You must have lost your mind.
Well, I remember I was down at my dad's. It was a Sunday. I was down at dad's for Sunday dinner, and the goalkeeper, he came up for this corner at the end. I remember saying to my dad, "When they do that, goalkeepers, they never score." And then he headed it in, so I made to look like a bit of an idiot. But yeah, it's good. It's a good time to be a Liverpool fan. They've got a great manager in Jurgen Klopp, and he really understands the club and the soul of the club, more importantly, and the fans have bought into it, and it's a good time. They're actually Americans own them. It's Fenway Sports Group that own them.
Yeah,
guys own the Boston Red Sox, I believe.
Yeah, we were. They're a lot of fun to watch. Hayden. He had to go to a meeting, so he dropped off. It looks like, but he's got. He was a big time football player in the States, and my daughter that he married was an All-American soccer player in college.
Okay.
So and my son played soccer in college. We love soccer. We're all big fans of the English Premier League. Do you follow a team in the Scottish Premier League?
Yeah, follow Rangers. So that's they managed to win the league last year. So it's the first time in a while they've done that. So, and they're kind of there or thereabouts for Celtic again this year. That'll be quite close, I think. But
it's taken them some time to claw their way back after that scandal. Is that 10 or 12 years ago now?
Yeah, it would be about that.
Yeah. I've gone to see while I'm over there. I've gone to a Man U game.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Scotland versus Brazil at the Emirates in a friendly.
All right. Okay.
I've gone to see a little team in England called Folkestone Invicta. I've gone to the Lossiemouth. I've seen the Lossiemouth team play.
Oh yeah.
I've gone to a Forest game.
Okay.
I mean, when you're over there and you've got nothing to do, I mean, at night, those games are great fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in one, I mean, if you were in London, for example, there's so many teams to go and watch in London. There must be 20 teams in London, you know.
Yeah.
So it's always something to do. Yeah, but yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well, before we go, I've got one more question for you. And it's not on the list of questions I sent you to think about anyway, but what are your thoughts, and what are the thoughts over there about Phil Mickelson at the moment?
Everybody's probably a bit disappointed in him.
Yeah.
I used to love Phil Mickelson when I was younger. Really liked him. I wasn't a massive Tiger fan, believe it or not, until he went off the rails and that, and then I really hated the way that everybody stuck the boot into him. There was no need for it.
Yeah.
I've become more of a Tiger fan since then than I was before. But
when he won the Masters 3 years ago, that was incredible.
Phenomenal. Brilliant for golf.
Yeah.
But Mickelson, I went off Mickelson at Glen Eagles at the Ryder Cup when Tom Watson was captain, and what he said about Tom Watson publicly was just no need for it.
Yeah.
I think Mickelson's lost a lot of fans, and I don't think he'll get them back.
Yeah, it's costing him a lot of money. I mean,
yeah,
his sponsors have some have fired him, some have put him on pause.
Yeah.
Those comments were just uncalled for.
Yeah, it's hard to get your head around it, really. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Who's your next Ryder Cup captain going to be? Do you know?
No, not yet. Not yet. They're on about Luke Donald, maybe. But
you're right. I've heard those rumors. We're really happy we got Zach Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a popular player over here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an overachiever, a small guy that doesn't hit it a long way, but he's won the Masters. He won the Open at St. Andrews. I mean, what's not to like about a guy like that, right? And Luke Donald's a very likable guy.
Yeah. I think I don't know where that'll pan out. It's in Rome, isn't it? Is it next year? It's in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marco Simone Golf Club. We're going to have a trip over there. Actually, we got a trip there this fall.
Yeah.
To play Marco Simone. It'll be 6 nights up in Tuscany, 2 nights down in Rome, get to play Marco Simone. It's a couples golf trip. And then next year it'll be kind of a guys golf trip, I would suspect, where we'll take people over, we'll play up in northern Italy or Tuscany, and then go down and watch a round or two of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I think some of my friends are going over. They've got tickets for it. They're going over there.
Yeah.
So it should be good. It's a great atmosphere. I mean, I was lucky enough to go to Glen Eagles when it was there a few years back, and yeah, it's just a big part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something, just to say, I was at a Ryder Cup in Scotland. It's not going to be in Scotland that often again. Certainly not in my life.
Right.
No matter.
I went to the one at Valhalla in Kentucky. And the Americans won that, but that's when, if you remember, Boo Weekley was on the team, and he was wearing white socks, and he went running down the fairway acting like he was riding a horse.
That's right.
He was a character. That was a great Ryder Cup's always great fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's normal. I mean, the last one was fairly one-sided, but that'll be the challenge for Europe now. Europe's had a good run in it over the last 25 years or so, and but the Americans have got some proper players at the moment. But there's a few good ones coming through for Europe too, and I think with it being in Europe, it'll be a lot closer than what it would maybe be if it was in the States again. But you're just never sure, are you? You just don't know.
Well, you guys won handily in France.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. I mean, I know Americans think we've got a very firm grip on the trophy, but I don't think so. I think anything can happen, and but you're right that we've got so many great young American golfers. It's it's crazy.
No, it's you've got to get the parents right, and you know, if you get the pairings wrong, it doesn't matter how good they are. But
Right.
I can see it being tough for the Europeans, certainly in the States, going forward. But you just don't know. You just don't know. But in Europe, it might be a bit closer. But to say you don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kevin, that about does it. I can't tell you how much Hayden and I appreciate your being with us, and you did a wonderful job. It was great to hear your thoughts on greenskeeping and golf in general, and learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you so much again, Kevin. You really don't know how much effort and time are put into keeping a golf course healthy and pristine. They do an amazing job for the Moray Open. I can't wait to see the course for myself and see if I can take on the challenge that Kevin's got me scared of. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe, follow buttons. We'll see you next week.